Welcome everyone to the Sports Giant Network. And today in this video, I am previewing this upcoming UFC card from Baku, Azerbaijan. As the UFC goes to Azerbaijan for the first time ever in Baku, the capital city, in the Paris of the East, and seeing video and pictures of Baku. Wow, Baku looks beautiful. I didn't realize Baku was that nice. I did not know it was the Paris of the East. Like when they first announced they were going to Baku and they showed images, I was like blown away. Like I didn't know it was that nice. I can see why it's the Paris of the East. The buildings there kind of looks like the old looks like European buildings. Like you ever go like the European cities, how the old buildings were built. It looks like that. It looks so beautiful and nice. Like man. So yeah, the UFC is going to Baku, Azerbaijan, first time ever in Azerbaijan, which means for us in America in the East Coast, 3 p.m. main card start time. So start at Saturday afternoon fights we're getting in America, and the European fans is great because the card starts around your time zone, and same thing with African fans and people in the Middle East. So it's great for most of the world can actually watch the fights in their time. Well, most of it outside like Asia and like Oceania, but still outside of unfortunately for them. But for everyone else in like the Americas, North and South, Europe and Africa and Middle East, the fight starts are on our time. Well, a time more suitable for us. So it's not like we have to get up super late. I mean, get up super early to watch or stay up late to watch these cards. So kind of works out for everybody. Well, not everybody, but most people in the world population. But yeah, I like the Saturday afternoon fights. I said before, I like when every once in a while we get fights Saturday afternoon, switch up the time. Plus, it's cool to watch fights during the day, and then this fights up, the event's over. You're not up. It's not like 2 in the morning. You can still do things. I kind of like them personally, Saturday afternoon fights. But anyway, let me get started. The main card. First fight in the main card is between Muhammad Naimov and Bogdan Grad. As I got Muhammad Naimov win this fight. I think Muhammad Naimov is a better fighter. He's fought better competition, and I think he has a wrestling advantage and a grappling advantage compared to and a strength advantage compared to Bogdan Grad. Grad's like a Muay Thai guy, throws a lot of like 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 looping not looping punches, but like a lot of hard rights and stuff. And watching his last fight against Lucas Alexander that took place in the Saudi Arabia card in early February, I've Lucas Alexander was doing well in that fight, doing very well. He won that first round, in my opinion, and he was doing well early in that second round. It's that Greg got a takedown, and I don't know if Alexander was exhausted or just gave up on himself, but didn't really do much to try to get up. Kind of remind me almost of the Joaquin Buckley and Usman fight. Well, that fight took place before Usman Buckley, but still, where Joaquin looked like didn't really do a lot to try to escape or get up from positions, and like he truly looked like a fish out of water, and looked and like Grab just was on top of him. Eventually, got changed position, just ground pound him to point where the ref had to stop it, and and I feel like to me, it's like I don't expect Naimov to do that. Naimov is better. That's the grappling department is his strength, and he's fought better competition, and he's got good striking. I feel like he's gonna go out there and use has more ways to win and use it to his advantage. Even if he doesn't get takedowns, he can use the threat to set up striking exchanges to catch him, Grad, and hurt him. And I think that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna get takedowns. If not, he's gonna use fake takedowns, get Grad all so focused on that he can just throw punches and connect with Bogdan Grad, and he'll be able to win a decision. I think he's gonna win via unanimous decision. Personally, I got Naimov winning this fight by decision. I think he's just better than Grad. I just I mean I'll be surprised if Grad wins this fight. But we'll transition from that fight to the next fight: Nazim Sadykhov versus Nikolas Motta. As Nazim Sadykhov is the first fighter of the first fighter from Azerbaijan to fight in the main card. As he's originally from Azerbaijan, moved to Brooklyn as a kid, then trains out Cerro Longo in Long Island. Also syndicated MMA in Las Vegas, where some of the Cerro Longo guys have gone to Vegas to train out there. But also going back to Cerro Longo, so they kind of they kind of go back and forth, and kind of like Aljamain Sterling and Rob Del Australia do, which those are two of the best grapplers and wrestlers in the UFC, especially lighter weight classes. And Having those guys as training partners and train with them, I think it's going to give Nazim a huge advantage against Nikolas Motta, as I think Nazim Sadykhov is going to win this fight because to me, he's going to have the better wrestling, better grappling than Nikolas Motta, especially considering who he trains with. Also, Nikolas Motta, he's very chinny. Like 4 of his 5 losses are by TKO and KO. And Nazim Zalikov does have power in his hands. Does throw. He doesn't throw a lot of volume, but when he throws and lands, it does have a lot. It does affect the fighters. He has got some power in his punch. He has power in his punches, and I feel like he's able to connect with Nikolas Motta. He can hurt him and finish him there. As excuse me, as Nazim's got seven is 10 victories. I just want to make sure because I forgot 7 is 10 victories for Nazim or by KO and TKO, and I think that works well for him against someone like Moto's chinny. Now Nicholas Moto is dangerous. He does have a lot of power in his punches, and I think he went to Muay Thai and I forgot Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand. I'm trying. I think it's Tiger Muay Thai. That's like the gym in Thailand where like international fighters go train for MMA. I'm pretty sure it's Tiger MMA. If I'm butchering, my bad. But we all know it's that gym in Thailand that fighters go to train to work on their Muay Thai and MMA skill, especially like international fighters, like Russian fighters, etc. And he went over there recently, Nicholas Moto, which yeah, it's gonna help him out, especially if he gets proper training to work on his techniques and stuff. But I just feel like Sadykhov he should have the wrestling advantage, and he can use that to set up his strikes and catch Motta and finish him, potentially in second, third round, considering he is chinny. And I do think I do think Nazim Sadykhov is gonna win personally by decision, but I could totally see a finish, a TKO finish in the second or third round for Nazim Sadykhov. I'm going decision by him. I think he'll use the wrestling to set up his strikes and hurt Motta. He may wobble him or drop him. He probably will, and I think Motta might survive and he'll ride out the decision Zalikov, but I can totally see Zalikov putting enough damage and finishing Motta. I'm gonna go with Nazim Sadykhov to win via by decision or by second round TKO. I just think Mota's too chinny. And I think Salikov, Salikov didn't do a lot of volume in his last fight against Balfrim. Balfrim was winning that first round until Salikov landed that beautiful question mark kick that basically fucked up fucked up his eye, Balfrim's eye to the point where Balfrim couldn't see, and the doctor stopped it after round one. But and unless Moto is able to throw a lot of volume and like catch Salikov and like overwhelm with volume, I just don't see which I don't expect to happen. But that's like one of the ways he's gonna have to do early. That's one of the things he's gonna have to do early on, Motta, to win this fight. I just don't see him doing that. I think both of them might be a better fighter than Salikov. I mean, not Salikov, Motta. And I think Moto's gonna, and I think Salikov is gonna go out there and win by decision just because he's both of them is better. And I think Salikov's gonna be able to do enough to beat Motta and probably could finish him. But yeah, I got Salikov winning via decision or by second, third round TKO. As we transition from that fight to the next fight, also in the lightweight division, Metek Orolbai taking on Tofiq Musayev. As I got Orolbai winning this fight. Now Musayev is a guy who fought in Bellator and Ryzen. He's on a 2-fight win streak in Ryzen. Fought in Bellator before. Had I think he was 1-1. Although that one loss was weird because he arguably got hit in the groin and but they thought it was a body shot, and the fight probably should have been stopped because of a groin strike. But that was a body shot. And it was kind of a weird finish to that fight for Musayev. But Musayev is on a 2-fight win streak. Got a lot of knockouts. I think he's got 18 of his 22 victories are by knockout or TKO. As I check his record, let me just check to make sure. 22-5, yes, 18 knockouts and TKOs for Musayev. But the thing is with Musayev, he hasn't fought since November 2023. It's been a year and a half since he fought. Whereas Orbai has fought more recently. Back in October was his last fight. It was a loss to Matus Rebecki, a competitive fight, split decision. I thought Rebecki won, but that fight was amazing. That was a fight of year contender. That was an entertaining fight. Rebecki and Orbai both went put on the line as both guys took damage in that fight, especially Orbai. And man, Orbai proved that he's a tough bastard. He's got one heck of a chin. He took a lot of damage, especially I believe it was the round one. He took a lot of damage, and survived. And man, his eye at one point, look, the doctor was going to stop it because he couldn't see, but the doctor determined he was able to see, and the fight continued. And man, that was a freaking fun war, that fight. If you haven't seen Matus Rebecki versus Myktybek Orolbai, check it out. It was in the prelims of UFC 308, and it was a fun fight. And Orolbai is one tough man, and I do think he's got the toughness to be able to take some of the shots of Musayev, and also he is a good grappler. Orolbai, I think people were comparing him to Hamza at one point, like the lightweight Hamza, and he's shown he's got good grappling. Even that fight against Rebecki took Rebecki down after taking some damage, and he's a good. I think he's got the grappling advantage over Musayev, and he's got good striking, and he's a very good overall fighter. And one thing that's going to help Orolbai is that Orolbai is 27, whereas Musayev is 35. Usually, fights with that large age gap, the younger guys tends to win, unless the older guy is like very very elite. Which Musayev is good, but he's not like elite like that. Let's be real, he's not. And I do think Orolbai is going to go out there win win via unanimous decision, as Musayev is making his UFC debut also, and also finding his home country of Azerbaijan. And I think Orolbai is going to do enough to win this fight. It's grappling, and it's going to take some. He'll take some shots, and he'll give shots right back because Orolbai is a good striker, like I said, and Orolbai's got 6 TKO and KO, so he's got some decent striking as well. Good fighter, very, and got some good victories. And he's got these last 2 knockouts are KOs for Orolbai by strikes, not ground and pound, but actual strikes, not just ground and pound. So he does have some decent power in his hands too. So that can help him like do enough damage to keep Musayev off him and not allow Musayev to get going. But yeah, I think he's gonna use his wrestling and just use his striking and his youth advantage to beat Musayev, especially since he's not gonna be as rusty as Musayev. Orolbai took damage, but still he's had 8 months to recover since that fight, so that should help out big time. So yeah, I got Orolbai win that fight via decision. As we transition from that fight to the next fight in the heavyweight division, we're finally getting Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. Why is the UFC so hell bent making this fight? Like, why? I don't understand it. Blaydes is top 5. He's been top 5 heavyweight since 2018. 7 years. Let that sink in. And the UFC wants to give Rizvan Kuniev, who's making his UFC debut, who won his fight in a contender series, but didn't get signed. They want to make this fight. They're so hell bent making this fight. I don't know why. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Why? Kuniev is a good fight. I mean, yeah, he's what is it? He's 13-2. He beat Renan Ferreira, who Francis Ngannou fought on the PFL. But I mean, I know he got popped for a bunch of PEDs and stuff, but I mean, he still beat him. So it is what you still. Even if you have PEDs, you still gotta go out there and do your job and perform. Like there's only so much PEDs can do. I think people overvalue the worth of PEDs, and people are just so people get too up in arms about it. But that's a whole other story for another day. Yeah, yeah, he's got. I understand he's shown like Well, he did get signed by the UFC. I thought okay, my bad. So I'm looking at Kuniev's record. For some reason I thought he didn't get signed, but he did. Cause I did watch that fight in the contender series or earlier before recording this video, and yeah, Kuniev looked good. Like he definitely has some good striking and definitely like he's got some skills. I'll give him credit, but at the same time he got held against the cage by his opponent. He for a while before he got out, and his opponent did a good job of controlling him for a decent portion of that round. Because that fight on the contender series only lasted 1 round. For those of you who don't know, and for me, it's like, man, if that guy's able to do that to you, what happens when someone like Blaydes, who is a top 5 heavyweight, who's got good wrestling, he's been a great wrestler, great collegiate wrestling background. He's used wrestling success in MMA. He's got power in his hands. Like he's finished guys with punches, especially ground and pound too, and even sprawling too. Let's not forget, Jelton Almeida, took him down, but Almeida wants to shoot again. Blaydes caught him perfectly with counter and sprawl and just punched Almeida to the point where the ref stopped the fight. And that was just a year ago that Almeida fight happened. And and I feel like and Blaydes has got good power in his hands too with striking. Like if Blaydes catches you, he can drop you and hurt you badly. He could do that, and I feel like with Blaydes, I think Blaydes is gonna be super motivated to go out there and really prove to the UFC that this is a mistake, that he's still an elite fighter, and let us know that he's still an elite fighter and that this guy's on his level. And also, I know they faced off a couple of times because they were supposed to fight twice before this. And I think the week of what was it, UFC 313 or the Seattle card prior to UFC 313 in February, they did like a face off, like and like Kuniev looked in shape compared like much better shape than like previously. But I know people are mentioning that, but still, I don't think Kuniev has fought the competition of Curtis Blaydes for sure. No, I know he hasn't fought the competition compared to Curtis Blaydes, and he only loses to like the elite guys, like people with power punchers. Think about it. Blaydes lost to Ngannou twice, who's one of the hardest hitters in UFC history. Derek Lewis, same thing. Pavlovich and Aspinall. Four, like five of his losses are to those guys. Two to Ngannou, one to Lewis, one to Pavlovich, one to Aspinall. Five, like four of the hardest hitting heavyweight punchers of all time he's lost to. And yes, I understand. People say, "Well, Blaydes is chinny and Kuniev was good striking, catching, you hurt him." Yeah, it's true, but I just don't think he's gonna catch Blaydes. I think Blaydes is gonna have the wrestling advantage, and he might be able to take him down and ground and pound him. I do think he's gonna do that. I think Blaydes got decent striking to where he can catch Kuniev and hurt him badly. I think Blaydes, if he can just get him the clinch and like do dirty boxing and trip him, then take him down I think he's gonna be able to ground and pound him and beat him up badly. And I do think Blaydes is gonna win via TKO, first or second round. I think I could totally see Kuniev doing a shooting a shot and Blaydes catching him and dropping him like Almeida did. So yeah, I got Curtis Blaydes winning this fight via knockout, TKO, second and first round. I think he's gonna use a lot of clinch work to tie Kuniev, take him down and just beat him up until the ref stops it. That's where I'm more likely to suspect it's gonna happen like that. I just think it's disrespectful to have Curtis Blaydes fight a guy like this when Blaydes has been in top five for a long time. Blaydes is one of the best heavyweights out there. He's been for a while. He still is. Blaydes is still young. He's like 32, 33. So plus especially in heavyweight division, that's like being 27 in freaking lightweight. So he's young. Fat division. Blaydes is great. I know Blaydes been finished in all his losses, but it's heavyweights. The guys punch hard in heavyweight compared to weight classes. Plus, those are some of the elite of like power punchers in heavyweight division. And Tom Aspinall is more than just a power puncher. He's actually a great fighter overall. But still, you get what I mean. But yeah, Blaydes is just too good. Blaydes is going to show him that Kuniev is just it's too much of a jump for him for his UFC debut against fucking Curtis Blaydes. And I don't know why the UFC is doing this. It feels like the UFC wants it's like hoping that they get a new guy from Dagestan if Kuniev wins, but if Blaydes wins, they can have a guy who beat Ferreira, who lost to Ngannou, have that guy beat Ferreira, lose to Blaydes as their way to like tarnish Ngannou's legacy. It seems like that, but the UFC being petty it does seem like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading too much. Maybe some people are reading into that too much, but kind of seems that way. But anyway, we'll move on from that fight to the co-main event. Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Rafael Fiziev. Is Rafael Fiziev, also from Azerbaijan, fighting this card? Originally, I was gonna go with Bahamondes just because the momentum he's been on. He's been on a roll. He's looked very good, especially his last two performances against Manuel Torres, where he knocked him out in the spear card and submitted Jelton Almeida. But I watched this fight with Ludwig Klein because people were saying you should watch that fight. It's a good way to determine because Ludwig Klein's similar stature of Rafael Fiziev. And after watching the Klein fight with Bahamondes and then watching Fiziev's last fight against Justin Gaethje, which I did watch. Obviously, I did a live stream for I did a live stream for that. Like I came in during the stream because originally my dad and Chef Dan were doing it, and then I came during the stream because I had to work that day. But I'm picking Rafael Fiziev. I think Fiziev's going to win this fight because Bahamondes struggled against Ludwig Klein. Klein Yeah, he's short. Yeah, Klein is short than Bahamondes, but Bahamondes had a hard time like dealing with Ludwig Klein and the speed advantage he had, and like the fact he was smaller. Klein was able to enter into Bahamondes is not guard, but like he's inside his reach and get inside of Bahamondes and land some good strikes and near the clinch and inside. And I think Fiziev's going to be able to do that because Fiziev is a great striker, especially technical, and Fiziev has a speed advantage. And one thing, Blaydes is tall for the weight class, and one thing that Fiziev likes to do is body kicks and punches the body, especially with Blaydes being tall. His body's going to be open to getting hit with shots, and Fiziev is going to do that. And I think he's going to do that really well. He's gonna he's gonna hit Blaydes with a lot of body shots to slow him down, and Blaydes is open to get hit with shots. And Fiziev is very good, and also Fiziev's gonna have time to prepare for this fight. Remember, he took the Gaethje fight in short notice in the rematch in March because Gaethje was supposed to fight Dan Hooker, but Fiziev stepped up after not fighting for a while, and Fiziev looked good. Fiziev was actually doing very well in that fight. He won round one and was arguably won the second round before Gaethje caught him with that uppercut. I dropped him. And before the uppercut, looked like Fiziev was on his way to win round two before he got caught. And that's Justin Gaethje, one of the best lightweights in the world still. It's like, man, if Fiziev can do that well against Gaethje, I think someone like Bahamondes, yes, he's on a roll. Yes, Bahamondes is 27, but Bahamondes hasn't fought the competition Fiziev has, and Fiziev is going to have actually a full training camp to really prepare for this fight. And also, he's got like speed, might have a speed advantage over Bahamondes, and he's got ability and he likes to attack the body, which is something for someone like Bahamondes that's something he has to worry about. And I think he's gonna get a lot of body shots. Plus, what was the other thing I was gonna mention with this fight with Fiziev and Gate and not Gaethje but Bahamondes? There was one more thing I was gonna mention that I think favors Fiziev. I forget what it was. Shit, I had something else. I'm trying to remember now. Let me see. It was Let's see. Not grappling. It wasn't anything grappling related. Part of me thought that, but Fiziev doesn't really grapple that much. Well, I forget. I forgot what it was. Oh yeah. Also like people are gonna mention that Fiziev has that injury from the Gamrot fight where Fiziev was gone for over a year because he got injured against Gamrot, but he's been over a year, and plus he already had a fight against Gaethje who throws a lot of leg kicks, and he proved that his leg is fully healed. I do think that's not going to be anything he's going to have to worry about versus going against Bahamondes. So I don't see the injury being something that can hurt Fiziev going this fight. And plus, it's a 3 round fight, and I think Fiziev's going to have a fast enough start and do well the first 2 rounds to where if he does slow down round three, he's still going to be up 2-0, and it's going to it won't hurt him too much as he'll be get a decision victory. Because one thing about Fiziev that is like a weakness of his is that he slows down as the fight keeps going. But I think Fiziev that speed advantage and ability to attack the body is going to be able to do well against Bahamondes the first 2 rounds, like he was going against Gaethje in the rematch before he got dropped. And I think he's going to, and I do think he's going to hurt Bahamondes and do enough to win at least the first 2 rounds. And even if he's less slowed down, it won't be enough. I don't think Bahamondes going to get the finish because he's going to be attacking the body so much. He won't have the ability to finish him. As I got Fiziev winning this decision and making the people of Azerbaijan happy. As I transition from that to the main event, which is Jamahal Hill taking on Khalil Rountree. This fight, I'm going with Jamahal Hill. I think Jamahal Hill's going to win this fight because yeah, Roundtree looked better against Pereira than Jamahal Hill did, but you gotta remember, Alex Pereira was sick going in that fight and was injured in that fight as well. That's something people forgot is that Pereira was sick and was injured. And Pereira talked about after he beat Khalil Roundtree that he was considering pulling out of the Roundtree fight because of the injury. He did say that when he did an interview with Full Sam MMA. That's something people forget with that fight. And plus, Roundtree, even though he looked good, he got his ass whooped in that fight badly. Really got his ass whooped. Like the last 2 rounds, especially, he was getting his ass whooped. Even he arguably lost round two. I know people say that. Well, I know the final seconds he did catch Pereira, but it wasn't like he dominated round two like he did round one against Pereira. And I think with Roundtree, one thing about him that I think that's gonna help Jamahal Hill is that Roundtree is open to getting hit. Does not Roundtree does not move his head. Like when Jamahal Hill fought Jiri Prochazka, Prochazka won because Prochazka moved his head a lot in that fight. He showed improvement in his head movement, and I don't know. And Roundtree is not known for great head movement, and Jamal likes to throw that straight left, and I think it's gonna be open for him to hit Khalil Riff the straight left a lot. And I think it's gonna, especially considering I think Khalil mentioned his nose is, even though it's been a while since he had that fight, and I think he mentioned he's having a problem with his nose, which is a problem, especially as Jamal likes to throw straight lefts and Roundtree doesn't have great head movement. It's gonna his nose might get busted again, which can make it hard for him to fight, which leaves an opening to get hit with other shots and finish earlier because he can't breathe as easily. And I know the one thing Jamal Hill that worries people, including myself, is that when Jamal misses, he really misses and stands himself to leave himself open, and he does have a tendency to leave himself open to left hooks. And the thing with that is, if he leaves himself open, Khalil Rountree has no problem throwing left hooks and catching Jamal and dropping him. And that's something that does worry me, but I do think Jamal is better than Khalil. I think people underrate Jamahal Hill's skills. And Jamal did well against Jiri Prochazka, and he lost. He was doing well. He hurt Yuri. He threw like front kicks to Yuri, and I think Jamal has shown he has ability to he has the ability to hold his own against light heavyweight. Now I know people can say, well, Jamal Hill's rise to light heavyweight, he fought a lot older guys, which is true. But look at the guys he fought compared to Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree's best win is Anthony Smith. Khalil Rountree is not did not didn't fight the elite before getting that title fight against Alex Pereira, which he didn't deserve. And during that win streak, he was gifted a robbery decision over Dustin Jacoby, where Jacoby clearly won that fight. Yeah, they gave it to Khalil Rountree, one of the worst robberies of that year, just horrible robbery. And and like and I do think Jamal Hill is just a better fighter. I think he's underrated. I think he's going to have an advantage with straight left, especially with Khalil Rountree does not move his head. He mentioned his nose is he still have issues with his nose, if my memory serves me correctly. Matter of fact, give me one more. Let me see what Khalil say about his nose. I remember he said something about his nose. And I remember Pereira fucked him up badly and like destroyed his nose. Give me one moment with that. But let me see. Okay, yeah, I was just research. Like I said, I just did a little research, and like if you look at Khalil Rountree's Instagram and pictures of him, his nose is still fucked up. Like he did get surgery for it. I don't know why, like an idiot, I thought he didn't. That was just stupid on my part. But of course, he got surgery. Ugh, I don't know why I thought he didn't. That was stupid on me. But his nose is still fucked up. Like look at his nose, you could tell. He got surgery. It's still like the bruise is still there. Like someone like Jamal who throws a lot of straight lefts and like throws a lot of straight punches, that nose can get busted real quickly. And Jamal hits hard too. And all, yeah, I think Jamal Hill's gonna win. Is it a 50-50 fight? The King Rountree win? Yeah, can Khalil catch him with a hook or do leg kicks to slow him down, his movement down, then catch him? Yeah, he can. But I think Jamal Hill is gonna win because I do think Jamal Hill, as the fight keeps going, gets better, and Khalil doesn't have the head movement that Yuri Prochazka did, and isn't as technical as Alex Pereira, striker. And plus, I mean, the Yuri fight I mentioned, he hurt Yuri with a body shot and with front kick to the body. He landed front kick to the body in the second round of that Yuri fight. Jamal Hill, that's what he did. As Jamal Hill Jamal Hill, if look at a lot of his fights, like even a fight like Thiago Santos and other fights, as the fight keeps going, he tends to be more accurate, land better shots. I do think that's gonna happen. Jamal is gonna have to probably gonna survive a scary first round against Cleo. Then after that, go out there and basically basically start laying a bunch of shots in Cleo, throw live, start beating up Cleo, breaking that nose again potentially to the point where he might draw Khalil and probably finish around late third round, fourth round TKO, probably or KO round. Yeah, TKO. That's what I expect from Jamal. I do think Jamal is a lot better than Khalil Roundtree. And that's what I expect is gonna happen. But yeah, I got but yeah, those are my predictions for UFC Baku. I am looking forward to it. It should be a good card. It looks like a decent card. It should deliver. It looks like a very good card for the UFC in the Middle East in Baku Azerbaijan. As I got Naimov, Sadykhov, Orolbai, Blaydes, Fiziev, and Jamahal Hill win this fight. But not this fight. Their fights. I don't know why butcher that there. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Who you think is gonna win and why? And don't forget to give a thumbs up and tell me what fight you're looking forward to the most. As I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day, good night, stay safe, and my bad. I clicked the pause video instead of end recording. My bad. But yes, have a good day, good night, stay safe, and yeah, this should be good. And I'm looking forward to it. And we'll see what's next in the lightweight division after the main event. But that's all, and can't wait for next week's UFC card. After this card takes place, UFC 317. But we'll talk about that then. Anyway, goodbye.